Hi everyone, we are live. This is Arsenal Fan Circle, Season 2, Episode 35. What I've started to call, Tony, the never-ending season, you know, for reasons that we didn't want to happen in this world. But welcome everybody to Arsenal Fan Circle, to another episode. We've tried throughout this lean times to bring content, to keep everybody fed with some steady Arsenal content. I think Tony, we've done a good job. We're going to give ourselves a pat on the back for the last few weeks, right? We talked about what kind of things did we bring to the masses? The deferrals, the wages, all these things. What?
Lots of quizzes.
Lots of quizzes. Yeah. The world has become a quizland. So. Welcome everybody, the assembled and Lumber Camp, Steve Denham, and Glenn. We're gonna have a few other characters joining us as well. You know, it's hard enough to get good help, but to get good help on time, Tony, it's even more difficult, right? Well, we understand. Mahir and Rohan will be joining us as well. Big up. Lumber Camp, big up yourself, Steve Denham, and big up yourself, the assembled. We're trying to not make it Fergie time as much, Stephen. So let's get into it. We're going to go through today, because the league is coming back in about 2 weeks. We're going to go through the program. We're going to go through the Premier League fixtures. We're going to simulate it. And I want everyone in the chats to give us some help as well, and because we got to go through about 92 fixtures. And I want to give a shout out to the kid Egal. He put me onto this website. We were going to go through probably a lower tech review of the Premier League season, but now we can do a little bit of high tech. Let's see how I do here. I'm going to try and share the screen here. Let me bring Gunded News in as well. And hey, Mahir, how are you?
Hey, what's happening, guys?
So we're gonna go through the league program. We're gonna hand out the league title today. We're gonna hand out second, third, and fourth spot. Who gets into the Europa League? Who gets relegated? Who gets an early holiday? You know, the type to Burnley, Southampton. They get an early holiday. And big up Stan, yourself as well. So we're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna see if Arsenal can finish above 9. Tony, do you think Arsenal and Arteta can finish above our current position of 9th place?
Yeah, I think most likely 6th to 8th.
6th to 8th. Okay, and Mahir, do you think we can get a little bit higher than 9th?
Like Tony said, probably number 5.
Number 5. That's going to be optimistic. Rowan, hi.
Hi there. What's up, guys?
Yeah, Rowan.
We're going to go through the league program, and we got started, so we're going to kick right into it. I'm going to see if I can do this here. All right. Can you see that screen, everyone?
Nope.
Not yet? Not yet. Okay. Let me keep out of that. Bear with me, folks.
I see we're looking at Jimenez and Ben Yedder
Okay.
as possible replacements for Laka.
I think we're good now. So this is where we left it off, everybody. It's where we left our season off, and can you see me scrolling up and down?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So Liverpool, Manchester City, Leicester City, and Chelsea are holding the first 4 spots. Manchester United in 5th, where we want to be, but we're going to see if we're going to get there today. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Sheffield United, Spurs, and then we're 9th place. We're Arsenal. We are the Arsenal. In the relegation spots is Bournemouth, Villa, and Norwich City. All right. Now let's go through. We're going to go through, and people can help out in the comment section. Give me your predictions as well. we have 2 remaining fixtures from week 28 to fulfill. The first one is Aston Villa, Sheffield United. So, Tony, what do you think is the Aston Villa Sheffield United prediction?
1-2.
1-2. Okay. And then I'm going to throw some of these out to the viewers as well once everybody gets used to what's going on. Rohan, I'm going to give you Manchester City versus Arsenal, the makeup game.
It's going to be a tough game, right? And you really don't know what teams are going to show up. This is the first game after a long time out, and in fact, it's not even like preseason, right, where they have lots of training and all of that, but there hasn't been that. So I don't know how fit or unfit the players are going to be, how the tactics are going to play out.
Yep.
Because we're playing at the Etihad, and the City team has been coached for longer by Pep. I'd give them the edge, but I'd say it might be a close one. So we might be able to get maybe a 1-1 draw.
Okay, so you're giving Arsenal the edge,
Another draw going
Otherwise,
to the theme of the season.
difficult position. So we're going to do a quick calculate after every.
Draw number 14.
We're still in 9th place. Another draw number 14, right, Tony?
Yep.
Okay, Mahir, we're going to go into week 30. So we did have week 29. Everyone now has played 29 games. Arsenal is 5 points from 5th place. Mahir, Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace.
Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace. I would have to go with a Crystal Palace win.
Yes, and before you give me the result, everybody in the comments, give me the result that you think Brighton versus Arsenal will be, and Everton versus Liverpool, the 3rd and 4th fixture there. Your score line, Mahir, for Bournemouth and Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace 3, Bournemouth 1.
Yeah, Crystal Palace are a good away team, and likely that they're going to get the win there. Does anyone... Rohan, Tony, what do you think about that? I think Rohan dropped out, did he?
Yeah, he dropped out.
Should be back with us shortly.
I probably agree with Mahir there.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Glenn.
Hi, Ray. Hi, Tony. Hi, Mahir. Hi, Rohan. I've been backstage for more than 4 minutes, I felt like the main act waiting for the last performance.
The backstage act. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But so everyone knows when you're screen sharing, when you're sharing screen here, I'm only really working in the shared screen, and I'm referring to, so technical difficulties. So Rohan, Aston Villa versus Chelsea.
We're hoping for a draw or a loss for Chelsea, right? But Aston Villa sitting right there.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah, but it's Aston Villa is sitting right there at the relegation battle, in the relegation zone. So I think Chelsea is going to nick this one, and it's possibly going to be a 2-0 victory to Chelsea.
2-0 victory. Okay. Now we have to think about teams that are going to be fighting for their lives, and Aston Villa will be one of those. Glenn, I'm going to give you Brighton at home to Arsenal.
I think you're gonna sneak that one. Maybe 2-1 to Arsenal. 2-1.
Yeah. So, Glenn, you think we're going to get over our away day problems? We're going to get better playing away from home.
Yeah, just luckily 2-1.
Yeah, and Stan just made this comment that he doesn't think that home and away really counts that much anymore, and there could be something to that. Okay, Who am I missing out? Am I here? You want to go Everton versus Liverpool? Liverpool will be quite keen to get those points that they need to win the title.
Yeah, Merseyside derby. I mean, all they need is basically one win, and they will have taken the title. So I'm going on the Merseyside derby. Liverpool 4, Everton 2.
Go fast.
Wow,
Go for it.
that will be interesting.
High scoring game, and we're going to see at the end of the season how this all plays out. Um, Tony, Manchester City at home to Burnley FC.
3-1.
3-1 to City.
Yep.
People in the chat, I'm going to give you Tottenham versus Manchester United coming up. Okay, Rohan, you've got
We need a
Newcastle,
draw.
Newcastle
Okay.
versus Sheffield United.
Newcastle under new ownership, they might be able to nick something there. And again, we need Sheffield United to drop some points, but
Will the
they've
owners,
been
Rohan, will the owners have taken control at that time? Yeah.
maybe, but I don't think that the transfer window would open, so it doesn't really matter in practice. So I think Sheffield United still would have too much for them. Maybe a 2-1 victory to Sheffield.
Norwich City, Southampton, Glen.
Norwich, Southampton. I think Southampton have been scoring goals lately, especially Danny Ings, and also Norwich will be fighting for their Premier League position. So I think it's gonna be a high-scoring game. I'm gonna go for 3-3 in this one.
And you're probably gonna get some crazy games as well. So, anyone in the chat want to venture Spurs versus Manchester United? Gonna go to my here next. Tottenham versus Man United. This is a fixture you're gonna love. You're gonna love this one right here. This combat versus Banter FC.
Yeah, I don't know about love, but those are the two teams I hate. So with all my heart, so a draw, 1-1 draw.
Yeah, it's gonna be Jose Mourinho against his old team, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's still learning on the job a little bit. Okay, Tony, Watford FC versus Leicester City. Brendan Rodgers is going to go to Vicarage Road. Let's remember Watford were the team to beat Liverpool.
2-1.
To Watford?
No.
Okay.
1-2.
1-2. You got caught up on the Bundesliga doing that last week, remember?
Yep.
We did Bundesliga predictions. Okay, back to Rohan. West Ham United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. A tough game. Going to be a tough game for Wolves.
Yeah, it would be a tough game for Wolves, and but West Ham sitting right down there, 16th place. Wolves are flying high. In 6th place. So again, Wolves, I think, might have too much for West Ham, and they might just nick a 1-0.
Okay. Okay, after the 38th round of games, let's calculate where that leaves us. We're up to 8th place. Provided we can beat Brighton away from home, we're up to 8th place. Still 5 points off of 5th place. Sheffield United have moved above Manchester United, and Chelsea are firmly in that 4th place. So let's go to round 31 here. And Glenn, you're going to get Tottenham versus West Ham United.
Well, it's always an interesting fixture between those two. A London derby. Back when they were playing at White Hart Lane, there was like a 3-2, a 2-1. I remember a 4-2. So there was always goals in this fixture. Plus, earlier this season, I think it was Mourinho's first game for Tottenham, and they won
3-2.
3-1, 3-2. So I'm going to go for the same results. Tottenham 3, West Ham 2.
Yeah, traditionally West Ham have done well against Tottenham. I think it's London derby. Okay, my hero, you get Burnley FC versus Watford.
I would have to go with. I'd have to go with a. Sorry, what was it? Burnley versus?
Burnley versus Watford, and people in chat,
Watford.
give me the result of Chelsea versus Manchester City.
Okay. Burnley versus Watford. I'm going with a Watford win. Watford 2, Burnley 0.
Wow.
Yeah,
Burnley.
and
Yeah.
the other game was City versus.
City versus Chelsea. You can have that one as well. I'm generous.
If you guys are positive, I can take it.
Yeah.
I would have to go with a City win there.
City will
2-0.
win at Stamford Bridge. 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. Oh, sorry, 3-0.
They're going to get an injured time goal. Make it 3-0.
Yeah, an extra one.
Okay. Tony, Liverpool are going to play at home to Crystal Palace. They've probably won the title at this point in time. They're celebrating
2-0.
2-0. And Rohan, Newcastle United versus Aston Villa. Did you get Newcastle last time around as well?
Yeah. So I seem to be becoming a Newcastle expert now.
You're the mic top.
Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them I've done before, but I again think that Newcastle might have too much for Aston Villa. The way I've seen Aston Villa play, sometimes they've looked all right, but a lot of times they've just looked hopeless. They don't even seem like they belong there. So I think again Newcastle could nick this one here, maybe a 2-1.
Playing at home in front of their fans, definitely. And Aston Villa have some good players that could get sold to better teams in the Premier League. Glenn, Norwich City versus Everton.
Well, just like Ron, I got Norwich last time too. So looking like I'm going to become the Norwich expert. It's funny because a couple of weeks ago, Ron actually beat me because I couldn't remember the Norwich coach's name.
And now you remember.
So I'm going.
What a coincidence!
What's his name, Glenn?
What a coincidence!
What is the Norwich coach's name now?
Oh, the Norwich coach's name? Oh God! Oh God! I think it's I know it's a really tough German name. I still can't remember it.
You forgot.
Daniel Farke.
Daniel.
Okay, yeah, that's one. I can't remember it. I'm going to go for Norwich. Another high-scoring game. Norwich are just poor in defense. So I'm going to go for Norwich 1, Everton 3.
Norwich 1, Everton 3. Yes, Ancelotti has been doing quite well with the Everton side, and probably our 12th place right now should do a little bit better than that towards the end of the season. Mahir, if there's anyone in the chats, I'm going to go ahead and give you Manchester United versus Sheffield United. But Mahir, take Leicester City versus Brighton.
While Leicester City are obviously going to push and try and get that into the top 4, Champions League. So I'd have to go with Leicester City win there. 3-0.
3-0. Okay, Tony, you've got the big, the glamour tie here. Manchester United at home to Sheffield United. Fifth versus sixth.
1-2.
You're giving Sheffield United a win at Old Trafford.
Yep.
crazier things have happened, you know. Listen. I'm going to chime in on this Arsenal one. I think it'll be a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. We're going to go to St Mary's. I want to keep Rohan on all of the Newcastle results. So.
Southampton has been somewhat of a bogey team for us over a few seasons, right?
Yeah.
We've gone there. I remember there was like a big slump in form that they had, and then they beat us 4-0 around Christmas time. And then,
if any team ever has a slump in form, they want Arsenal as their next fixture, right?
exactly. So,
Rohan,
yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Bournemouth.
Wolves versus Bournemouth. Again, I think Wolves will have too much for Bournemouth. Again, Bournemouth have at points looked dire this season, and they've only performed against Chelsea. I think they've beaten them twice. So I think Wolves will nick a 2-0 here.
A 2-0. Okay, I had you down for 3. It was good. All right, let's calculate that. Oh, Sheffield United are in 4th place now. Are we being generous to Sheffield United here? Tony picked that shock result at Old Trafford, which pushes Sheffield United to 4th place. Manchester United 7, Tottenham 8, and we're level on points with Tottenham on 9th place. Our goal difference is 3 worse off. Okay, let's round 32. And we have, Glenn. Bournemouth versus Newcastle United. I took Rohan out of the sequence.
Yeah. Let me take over Newcastle for a bit. Bournemouth at home, they're normally up and down. You can never know how they're gonna turn up, who's gonna play, how Wilson is gonna perform. And Newcastle away from home sometimes can just defend for the entire game. So I'm going to go for 1-0 to Bournemouth. 1-0, just 1-0.
1-0 to Bournemouth. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We got my here. I think Tony had to drop out for a little bit. He'll be back. My here, you got Arsenal had played 3 away games, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And now they come home. Their first home game is Norwich City. Arsenal versus Norwich, my here.
Go Fist. I'm calling for over hat-trick. 3-0.
3-0?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take Aston Villa versus Wolves. I'm going to go 2-2. I think Aston Villa are going to be starting to fight for their lives. Rohan, Brighton versus Manchester United.
I think it's going to be an upset here, and with a 2-1 result, Manchester United is going to win.
Uh, 2-1 upset. Manchester United is going to win. 2-1 at Brighton. Just want to give a shout out to Stefan Harrington, Romance got a quick hello. Hope everyone's all right. And Norwich City. Okay. Glenn, you have Crystal Palace at home to Burnley.
Oh, well, I don't think there's much to say about this game. This is one of those games I'll try my best to avoid, especially with no fans. It's going to be a ball fest. So Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 0.
Oh, God.
0-0.
It's going to be a boring one.
You're going to be able to see every game live behind closed doors as well. But
I'll try and make sure there's a Bundesliga game at that time.
Maybe after these 20 games, you'll want to dodge a few of them, right? Okay, not here. Sheffield United versus Tottenham. He seems to be getting the glamour ties here.
Yeah, acclimatized. Boa.
You're
I'm
going
going
to be your
Sheffield.
second team. Hey, Maher, your second team is Tottenham. You know that?
No, I refuse. It's a coincidence. Only coincidence, guys. I'm going with the Sheffield United win.
Yeah, Sheffield United are
1-0.
pretty good at home. 1-0? 1-0, right?
So does anyone know? So are they playing all the FA Cup and Champions League fixtures also, or is it just the league that's coming back?
FA Cup is going to start, I think, on the 27th of June.
Right.
And
What about the
semi-finals,
Champions League?
I'm not quite
I
sure.
haven't heard anything about the Champions League.
Yeah, we're looking at maybe August for that. Right? They want to finish the domestic stuff first. The FA Cup final is going to be August 1st, and semi-final will be in, I think, 11th of July, something like that.
Okay.
So who am I going to next? Glenn?
It's actually Rohan. It's actually Rohan.
Okay. Rohan, Watford versus Southampton.
Watford win here, as you said. They're picking up form with Sarr, playing out of his skin and getting the 2-1 victory here.
2-1, okay. And Stefan Harrington has said Champions League is in August. Okay, so let me see. I think a few people have dropped out. I need to bring them back in.
The Capricorn speed bump. By the school.
Hey, Maher. Okay, so Maher, you get the next one. It's another glamour tie. Manchester City at home to Liverpool. We had been hoping the Manchester City would end Liverpool's unbeaten run, that it would go as far as, I don't know, would have been the 44th or 45th game of the season in Liverpool's sequence, right? And it was one of our last hopes that they would end their run, but Watford put paid to that. He's gone. Rohan, you get Manchester City versus Liverpool.
I would hope for Manchester City to come out here and to stamp their authority, and by that time, Liverpool would have won, and they don't have much to play for. So Manchester City playing for pride, I think they're gonna get the victory here, 3-1.
And big up to Stefan for coming in. 3-1 to Manchester City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got that right. Okay, Glenn, you get West Ham playing at home to Chelsea. That's a difficult fixture for Chelsea.
Yeah, and I actually think it's going to be another difficult fixture for them and another unfortunate result for them. So I'm going to go for West Ham 2, Chelsea 1.
I'm going to give
What's
my
happening
here.
there?
We back?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take the Everton FC versus Leicester. Ancelotti versus Brendan Rodgers. It's going to be interesting. Let's all talk about this one. I'm thinking it might be a draw. I'm going to go 2-2. But what do you think, Rohan, for Everton versus Leicester City?
Yeah, this could be one of them in which both sides try to size each other up and then end up uh, canceling each other out. So it's a possibility that they could end up in a draw, which would be a favorable result for us.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I actually agree on 1-1. I agree on 1-1. It's not going to be like 2-2 or 3-3. Both defenses are good, so 1-1.
Which one would you go for, Rohan? A 2-2 or a 1-1?
I think it'll be a low scoring one, well, a 1-1. Yeah.
Okay, let's stay with 1-1. And we're going to calculate that. See what happens. Sheffield United were in the top 4, and remain so. Chelsea are in that fifth place. Arsenal's eighth, and Tottenham have dropped below Arsenal at this point. So, let's move on to the next round. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Manchester United are between us, and I don't strictly think we're going to get top four or top five at this point in time. But Rohan, I'm not going to give you this next one. Glenn, it's Newcastle versus West Ham.
The third West Ham game I'm getting. Another of those games that you can never know whether it's going to be an interesting watch or a boring one, and I can only see another draw. So I'm going to go for Newcastle 1, West Ham 1.
Okay. I think Mahir is becoming the Sheffield United specialist. So Mahir, Burnley versus Sheffield United.
I'm going with the Sheffield United win.
You're going to keep them in the top four.
Oh, okay. No, I'm lying to you. I'm lying, man. That was a joke.
I think Burnley
don't
is a tough place to go to. I think Burnley might even squeak that one. I wouldn't be surprised. But let's
Going with Burnley to score that all-winning goal.
2-1.
Yeah, 1-0.
1-0 Burnley.
Yeah.
Leicester City versus Crystal Palace, Glenn.
Well, Crystal Palace is always good away from home, better away from than home, so I don't see them losing this one. I'm going to go for the third draw in a row. I'm going for Leicester 1, Crystal Palace 1.
Hey, you're a draw specialist.
Crystal Palace always away from home, always you can fancy them to get something.
Yeah.
And Leicester, you wouldn't imagine they would lose. So
I remember last season when that Leicester scored a last-minute goal against Crystal Palace. Was it Crystal Palace or was it a different team? I think it was Crystal Palace. I kept them.
I remember 2 seasons ago, Crystal Palace beat them 3-2 at their place. Last season, I'm not quite sure.
Okay, Rohan, Manchester United versus Bournemouth at home. Manchester United at home.
Manchester United at home. I'd say they're gonna nick a win here. As much as I'd want them to draw, but looking at Bournemouth, I think they're gonna get maybe a 3-1 victory here.
Norwich City versus Brighton here.
Let's see. I'd have to go for another draw. 1-1.
Norwich will be fighting, but Brighton are a decent effort. Glenn, which one do you want of the next two? Do you want Southampton City or do you want Tottenham Everton, Glenn?
I think you can take Southampton City and then
I'll take Southampton City. I think City will win 2-1. So you've got Tottenham, Everton.
Another game that is always high scoring. But with the likes of Kane and Son back, I do fancy them to win it. I'm going to go Tottenham 3, Everton 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kane, the break is going to help Tottenham get some of their players back as well. Rowan, you got a nice tie here. Chelsea versus Watford.
Chelsea versus Watford. So another, London game. I think that this might be again, with the way Watford have played, if they have, they could try to push for getting out of the relegation battle and sort of securing a position for themselves. So push really hard, but get maybe a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, and let's not forget Chelsea are still a young squad, so 2-2 is reasonable. I'll take Liverpool. Liverpool should beat Aston Villa 3-2. And Glenn, you're going to get Wolves. Oh, it's a tricky one. Wolves, Arsenal away to Wolves, Glenn.
I really wish I could say a win, but I can never see a win away to Wolves. especially what happened last season. And I think they're just, especially their midfield, Neves and Moutinho, unless Arteta gets something right before then, I don't see us dealing with their midfield. Plus Traore and Jota on the wings, I don't see us dealing with that. So I'm just hopeful that the likes of Aubameyang will save us again and we'll manage to get a 2-2 draw.
You guys want to know something interesting?
We are going to be lucky to get a 2-2 draw there, I think. Yeah, go ahead, Mahir.
Yeah.
In the remaining 10 games, right? So if we miraculously beat City, out of the 10 games, we actually, in order to try and push, I'm not saying it's a possibility, but to realistically even just attempt, even a 1%, getting into top 4, we need to win 7 of our remaining 10 games.
Yeah. And you know, the 10 games, we only have 4 of those at home and 6 away from home.
And 3 is a North London derby, City, and Liverpool. So, geez.
And for me, all those other tough games remaining, I think this is the hardest.
This one's the hardest. Wolverhampton Wanderers is the hardest.
Yeah, I don't see. That's the one place I don't see us getting a win. Totally.
Yeah. I agree with that. So calculating the, we've got 5 rounds to go for everybody. Manchester United are in the top 5, with Sheffield United in 4th place. Chelsea's dropped out a little bit. Wolves have been always around 7th. We've always been around 9th or 8th, and it's going to be very, very difficult. We can all see that now to get into the top 4. As Mahir said, we're going to have to do something special, like win 7 out of
in my opinion, to have a realistic chance of where we are right now, right, we're 9th, and to make a push for 5th place. Also 5th place is 5 points ahead of us. We need at least, I would say, 24 points out of the next 30. So that means that essentially we have to, in fact, in my opinion, we have to win 8, at least 8, and then lose 2. That's the only way that anything less than 24 points for me is we're not getting in, because we also need to consider that there are other teams that are going to drop points. And, in fact, just before this break, Manchester United who are currently in 5th, already had their difficult run of games. If you remember, they played Tottenham, they played City, and they beat both of them, in fact. So
yeah, but they also have tough games coming up. They had to play Sheffield United and Tottenham as well, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think they played Tottenham already, but I mean, just looking at our fixture, we've got City, Leicester, Tottenham, Liverpool, and Wolves. 5 out of, I would say, at least 5 out of the 10 are difficult fixtures. But if we have any chance of getting into the top 4, we need at least 24 points out of.
And also,
go ahead.
And also Southampton away and Brighton away, fixture that we never win.
Yeah. We're going to have to turn the table, not to use the pun, but turn the tables a little bit in some of these fixtures. Now, Stefan said, feels odd talking about forthcoming fixtures. It really does, but we're really 2.5 weeks away right now. We're almost, you could call it preseason, the final stage of the preseason here. And Dan has predicted a Pablo Mari hat trick, so I'll go along with that, Stan. And Tahir has said, Gundit, the GOAT. Tahir.
Well, nigga.
Big up everyone in the chats.
Big up everyone.
Tony's back.
Oh, cousin.
Okay, so Tony's not back yet. Let's push on. Who's gone? So how are we feeling in this kind of midway point? Sheffield United's in there. Okay.
How many points does Sheffield have?
So Sheffield United right now are on 55 points.
Yeah.
with 5 games to go. They could hit 70 by the end of this with 5 games. Okay. Glenn, let's go with Bournemouth versus Tottenham. We'll finish this thing out.
Another of those games that I can see Harry Kane getting a hat trick, and I'm going to go for Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 4.
Tottenham, you're giving Tottenham a lot of goals.
Yeah, I think that those are the kind of games they actually score a lot of goals.
Rohan, going to give you Arsenal versus Leicester.
Hopefully we do something here, because last time out, I remember we've been dire, right? Like we got beaten by them, which was one of the last fixtures for Unai Emery. Last season, Leicester was one of the games that we lost in that horrible run when we were close to getting into the Champions League. But
the home games,
you know,
the home games last season, we had that masterclass from Mosul last season, right? 3-1 at home.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, right. I remember that beautiful goal that we scored. We just turned it around. Actually, like we really quickly scored 3 goals. So, you know, yeah. So hopefully we get the 2-1 win here, but it's going to be a tough game.
We squeeze. I think it will be a tough game. I was kind of visualizing we were going to win that game as well. Okay, not here. Crystal Palace are playing at home to Chelsea.
Let's hope Crystal Palace can do something against them. Against Chelsea.
Playing at home.
2-1 to Crystal Palace.
And I keep talking about home and away, and Stan has correctly said that home and away may not matter much. 2-1 to Crystal Palace. I'll take this Everton versus Southampton. I think Everton will win comfortably 2-0 against Southampton. Glenn, you're going to get the Manchester City versus Newcastle.
Again, another of those games that you can see another hat trick, and that will go to Sergio Aguero. I'm going to go for Manchester City 5, Newcastle 1.
Back to the old halcyon days of Manchester City scoring goals like that. I don't know if they're going to get 5 this season.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Tahir has said, do we even have a shot at Champions League spot this year? I don't believe so. Glenn, what do you think? Do we have a shot at the Champions League?
Well, last season, you might say we have hard fixtures like the way Ron has said, but last season we said we had easier fixtures, but we ended up losing most of them. So we might say this time we have harder fixtures, but we might actually win a couple of them. So there's still a chance, and that is 5th. Maybe we can get 5th. Let's see how it goes for the next games.
Rahan, what are you thinking for Champions League? It's kind of out of sight. Do you think?
It's I would have had more hope if Manchester United would have tripped up, and I was actually hoping that they're going to be losing at least one of the City or Tottenham games, and then the difference between us and 5th place is just going to be 3 points. We have a game in hand, but that their win has really, both these wins really put us in a bad shape. So given that, I really think that it would be really optimistic to think that we're going to end up 5th, looking at the run of fixtures that we have. So I think maybe we're going to finish 6th or 7th.
Between Tony and Mahir, do either of you think we'll make Champions League?
Nope.
No.
Unless City's bans upheld.
Right. But pretty much we're looking at 5th as our best possibility. Tony, you're back, so I'll give you Watford versus Norwich City.
1-0.
1-0 to Watford. I hear West Ham versus Burnley.
1-0 to West Ham.
Folks in the chats, if you want to do Sheffield United versus Wolves or Brighton versus Liverpool, let me know. I'll give you Aston Villa versus United. I think United have too much for Aston Villa. They're going to win 3-1. Bruno Fernandes is going to be pretty decent. Glenn, Sheffield United versus Wolves.
This is going to be an interesting fixture. I'm going to go for a draw, a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, and I think as the season goes on, it's going to be tougher for Chris Wilder to continue that magic that he's been showing throughout the season. Rohan, Brighton versus Liverpool. Liverpool have won the title weeks ago.
Yeah, but they don't really have anything else to play for, right?
100
Because
points.
they're not
Maybe they're going to try and hit 100 points.
exactly because they've won the league. They're out of the Champions League. They're out of the FA Cup as well, I think. Right?
Yeah.
So they're out of the FA Cup as well, and they've lost a game. So that's no pressure on them, but no incentive as well. So lots of changes in the squad, but still making light work of it. 3-1.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp will be. You're right. Jurgen Klopp will be looking at some of the players they've signed and playing them. So your prediction, Rohan?
3-1 win to Liverpool.
3-1.
Yeah, I think it might be a sort of sending off for Lallana, and then there are some of the other players in the team who might get some game time.
Right.
Their new forward that they had signed, so
Minamino.
he might. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
So he might get a few games, and
I've,
that's how they go.
I've hit calculate on there. We've risen a spot from 8 to 7. It looks like we're going to be tantalizingly close to that 5th place, but ultimately we're going to finish. We're going to be thinking about the points that we've dropped in various places, like all of those draws, Tony, Watford, Tottenham, all of those things.
The two Chelsea matches.
2 Chelsea matches. We're going to be hurting, I think, at the end of the season. We're going to be looking at where we could have picked up 2 or 3 points to make that difference. And it's fine margins in the Premier League. Sheffield United are in 4th place, Man United 5th, Chelsea have got 6th, but between 4th and 8th, it's very, very close. Okay, Tony, you get the first one of week 35. Bournemouth versus Leicester City.
2-2.
2-2. Glenn, you got Brighton versus City.
Brighton versus Norwich versus Man City.
Yeah, versus Man City.
3-0 to Man City.
I know Norwich is going to be your second team now. Rohan,
Yeah.
I gotta find Newcastle for Rohan pretty soon again as well. But Rohan, you got Liverpool, Burnley.
Liverpool, Burnley trying to be aggressive and trying to get the points, but Liverpool just hitting them on the counter and getting a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, I think it might be more than 2 as well. Tony, you got Manchester United versus Southampton.
1-2.
You're giving Southampton the win at Old Trafford.
Yep.
All right. If there's any anomalies, we can track it back to your predictions. You've got some upsets, but big up yourself. Southampton, we kind of overlook Southampton, but Hassan Hootel has done a good job there. Mahir, Norwich at West Ham. Norwich playing West Ham.
West Ham 2, Norwich no.
No. I'd love to give this to Rohan, but I'll take this one. Watford versus Newcastle. Watford just squeezed that 2-1. Glenn, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Everton.
Another very good game. I think last season Everton drew that game 2-2. And I'm going to go for a Wolves win. I'm going to go for Wolves 4, Everton 3.
It's going to be a great game to watch. 4-3.
Yeah, probably one of the top 3 games we are going to see in the remaining fixtures.
Nice. Rohan, you've got a nice fixture here. Sheffield United versus Chelsea. And we're going to probably, looking at the table right now, we might maybe want even, I don't know how we would feel if we want Sheffield United to win that game and push Chelsea down further. But Sheffield United versus Chelsea.
Sheffield United versus Chelsea. I think again tough game for both sides. But Sheffield United have been on a high. Chelsea also trying to push for the Champions League spots. So it might just end in a draw, and I'd say a 2-2 draw.
Tony, you get Tottenham versus Arsenal.
Oof.
1-2.
The North London Derby.
We're going to beat them in a tight game, 1-2, right?
Yep.
All right, I like that one. I have us winning there as well in my predicted final points tally. All right, now here to round out the week 35, Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace.
Again, Crystal Palace coming up with the win. 1-0.
1-0. All right, let's calculate that. Arsenal. It's getting tight. So with 3 games to go, Arsenal are in 7th place. Wolverhampton Wanderers are in 6th on goal difference by goals scored, I think. And Manchester United are also on 55 points. So let's see what happens. Round 36. I'll go first. I actually think we will play quite well against Liverpool, but we will ultimately not win the game. I think we will lose 2-1 against Liverpool. What does everyone else think, Glenn? Arsenal at home to Liverpool. You're going to go for a draw?
I think it's going to be a draw, and that's just because Liverpool will probably not field their strongest team.
You think we're going to win?
We could because they wouldn't field their strongest team, so it could be like a 2-1, but mostly a draw.
Rohan, what's your feelings on that?
Yeah, I think again, I agree with Glenn. The fact is that they probably won't have their strongest side playing, and with us tied at goal difference for reaching out for the Champions League spot, we're gonna try to play as well as we can, and maybe ultimately be good enough for a draw. So yeah, I'd take a 1-1 draw.
I'm not here. What's your feeling on the Arsenal versus Liverpool game?
Rowan and Glenn said it perfectly. A draw. I could see us trying to push to get the points and maybe beat them 2-1.
The prediction would have probably been very different if they were still going for the unbeaten record. The game would have been different. But the thing with Arsenal is that I've seen Arsenal playing against weaker teams like Man U the time they fielded the likes of Rashford, and we still couldn't beat them. So I've seen us playing against second-hand teams and we still lose.
Do you think does everyone think it's realistic to go for a 1-1 draw?
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we drew with them last season as well at home.
Yeah.
So
We did. Okay. Glenn, Burnley are at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think Wolves are your second team.
This one is going to be another interesting game. Burnley at home, they're a really tough opposition, but Wolves are really good players, so I'm going to go for Burnley 1, Wolves 2.
Rohan, you have Chelsea at home to Norwich.
Chelsea at home to Norwich, and I think Chelsea are going to win this one, and the result is going to be 3-1.
I hear Crystal Palace is becoming your second team as well. Crystal Palace at home to Manchester United.
Now I'm really hoping for Crystal Palace win. I'm saying 2-1 to Crystal Palace.
You won the Palace.
Yeah. Alfred Zaha.
So many Crystal Palace wins. The way it's going, they might.
Manchester United, we've made a mockery of Manchester United here. Like they're just getting upset over upset.
I think.
I think we may have downplayed what Manchester United could actually do as well. But this is just a simulation, so we'll see what happens, you know. Okay, I'm going to go with Everton versus Aston Villa. I'm going to go for an upset here. I think Aston Villa have something about them. On their day, they can get a win. 2-1 to Villa for me. Glenn, Leicester City versus Sheffield United.
Oh wow, I don't know if this is going to be an upset or an expected result. So I'm going to go for Leicester 0, Sheffield 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're two evenly matched teams. So very. I think Brendan Rodgers has done a good job with Leicester City, but Chris Wilder has done a great job with Sheffield United. So definitely a decent team, Sheffield United. I think we have them in fourth place right now. It might be a slightly false position for them. Rohan, Manchester City versus Bournemouth. Eddie Howe will be desperate to get a win.
Yeah, but struggling there, and then they go a goal down, and then the slump continues. I think it's gonna be 4-1 to City.
Mahir, Newcastle United versus Tottenham. Remember a few years ago Tottenham went to Newcastle United needing just a draw and were beaten 5-1 up at St James's. But this is Park the Bus Mourinho playing against Newcastle.
Let's give it to the Geordies.
You're against the Geordies.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the Geordies 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Are you being a little bit biased?
A little bit.
Ray?
If I'm being unbiased, I would say 1-0. 1-0 to the Geordies.
Tony says you get him in.
I was coming back for him anyway. All right, Tony.
That 5-1 was sweet, right? That was the last time we finished over them, I think, and that was the Leicester season, wasn't it?
And then they talked about the famous power shift in the last couple of years, and hopefully we can finish above them this season. And whatever power shift they were talking about, we can seize it back. Tony,
so would you rather?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you rather finish above Tottenham or finish below them but win the FA Cup?
Yeah, I would. I want a trophy. I would take the FA Cup.
And that gets us into Europa League too.
So, Tony, would you like the trophy or the placing above Tottenham?
I have a trophy because it gets us in Europa League.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all unanimous here, right? We want that piece of silverware.
Yes, sir.
Who was I giving Southampton to? Tony? Tony, Southampton, Brighton.
2-1.
And big up the assembly. He just said there is no power shift, only in Spurs supporters' minds. I heard someone say recently that Spurs are only relevant because they're our neighbors. I actually believe that. I think if they were playing in a city that didn't have another big team beside them, they wouldn't be as relevant, right?
Yep.
That's just fact, I think.
Yeah, facts.
All right, I'll take West Ham versus Watford. West Ham always have it in them to win a game. I will give them a 3-2 win. And we calculate this to see what happens. Wolverhampton Wanderers are in 5th place. We've managed to dump Chelsea and United out of the top 4. We're in 7th place.
Could you check the bottom table?
Yeah. It's a good time to check the bottom. I think Bournemouth and Aston Villa, you have Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and Norwich in the bottom. It looks like they're cast adrift 5 points off of Brighton, Watford, and West Ham. I do think Watford have enough in them to get out of there, so that's probably realistic. And West Ham's position is realistic. If you look between Brighton, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and Norwich, I would say any 3 from those 4. So I think that's quite realistic. What do you think?
Yeah, makes sense. I actually expect it to be that way.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing a disservice to anyone in the bottom 3 at this point in time. Let's see. All right, 2 games to go, 2 rounds to go, and we're on 56 points. If again, I think we're going to be looking at things here with 2 games to go and saying we need results to go our way. So let's see what happens week 37. Steven said, I can see Spurs fans punching grannies in a rage. Yeah, and poor pets and animals, right? Kicking the dog. All right, Glenn. Bournemouth versus Southampton.
This is a derby. Southampton normally get the edge in this fixture, so I'm going to go for a draw, 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
At this point, I think the relegated teams are out of luck. Okay. Rowan, you're next. You get the Arsenal game. Arsenal are going to go to Aston Villa. Aston Villa looks like we just looked, thanks to Glenn, in the bottom 3, and Aston Villa are probably relegated at this point in time. So do you think they have the pressure off, or do you think we go get the win we need?
I think we'll get the win that we need, and we're gonna get. We won earlier this season, but it was a nail biter. We had to go to extra time to win it there. But this time, I think it'll be easier for us, and we'll probably get a 2-0 victory.
All right. Yeah, I would. Yeah, 2-0 or 3-1, something like that.
Yeah.
Not here. Brighton versus Newcastle.
I'm going with a draw there. 1-1.
And people in chat, if you want to give me your prediction for Liverpool, Chelsea. 1-1 Brighton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tony, concurrently with the people in the chat, give us Liverpool versus Chelsea, Tony.
2-3.
You're giving Chelsea the win at Anfield. You're just trying to deny Liverpool the century, aren't you? Manipulating the league, Tony.
No, Matt.
So, as Dan said, the Assemble said Spurs haven't won anything for 10 years. Arsenal are upset they haven't won the Premiership. They just want to win anything. Correct, and they won the Audi Cup, Dan said. There's a video, there's a DVD about it. And Dave Transu, I think we're new here, Dave, said, welcome to the channel. More than 10 years, Assemble. If Spurs won a shopping voucher, they celebrated, says Stephen. So good stuff in the comment section. If you have any questions for us once we get through this league program, we'll spend some time answering questions. We're just going to do some Arsenal chat at the end of this. And was it me? Manchester United versus West Ham, 3-1. Man United win. Flan, Norwich City versus Burnley. Norwich are your second team.
Yeah, I actually agree on the Man U result. Those are the kind of games you can see Manchester United fans giving the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Pogba so much praise after a good performance in that game. So I can see maybe 4 or 5 in that game. Norwich and Burnley. I think Norwich will get some points here just before they get relegated. They're going to win this one 3-2.
And Dave has responded to me. Hi, I'm new. I'm from Islington, North London. So a local lad from Islington. Big up yourself, Dave. Welcome to the Arsenal Fan Circle family. Rohan, Sheffield United versus Everton. And Dave, let me know what you think about Tottenham Leicester. People in the chat, Tottenham Leicester. Rohan, Sheffield United versus Everton.
Sheffield United versus Everton. Sheffield United flying high, trying to get into the Champions League spot, but Ancelotti, doing some of his tricks there and holding them to a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, Everton will be trying to push for Europa League at least.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Sheffield United will be this kind of team if they get into this position, Rohan, that maybe get a little nervous?
They could, and per our simulation, they were anyways going fourth. So, even if they go fifth, they'll still make it. But it'll be, once it becomes real, there's going to be some pressure on them.
And you have them down for 1-1, right, Rohan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And December said, Stan, sorry, I didn't realize the Audi Cup counted. I hear there's a box set. Steven says, Spurs, European Bingo champion. Nice one. Mahir, your Tottenham is your second team, Mahir. Tottenham at home to Leicester.
Leicester for the win. No, I'm joking. I think Tottenham will have too much for Leicester to cope with. So 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
I think Leicester will probably be firmly in the Champions League. They've had a good season. They'll be relaxed, and Tottenham will probably get that win 2-1. Tony, Watford at home to Manchester City. Watford have beaten Liverpool earlier in the season. Will they beat Manchester City at Vicarage Road?
No, they will not. They'll lose 1-3.
You still remember Vicarage Road, right? From the anagram quiz, right, Tony? I'll take Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace play well away from home, but I can just see a draw here. 1-1. Let's calculate that. Going into the last round, Arsenal is 6th place. Like I said, tantalizingly close. There's no way we can put them into the top 5, I would think, but Arteta's taking them from 9th to 6th, which I think is realistic. I don't think we're being crazy here. Sheffield United are in 4th place, which might be a little bit. We just can't see Sheffield United doing that. Chelsea are 5th, and Wolves and Man United and Tottenham are chasing up. Let's go into the last round here. All right, I'm going to take this one. Watford, Arsenal at home to Watford. We always play well in the last game of the season, but pressure will be on. All the games. I wonder how they're going to do that, folks. Will they play all of the games simultaneously?
That's what they do traditionally, right?
Yeah, that's what they do traditionally. It's going to probably have to happen at that point. Play all of the games at the same time. But I do think Arsenal will be playing to win that game, and probably a 3-0. Not 3-9, 3-0. Well, Glenn, Burnley versus Brighton.
Traditionally, as you guys have already mentioned, Rowan and Ray, the Newcastle versus Tottenham game a few years ago, the last day always has a bunch of goals. I also remember Crystal Palace 5-3 last season. So here I'm going to go for Burnley 3, Brighton 2.
Burnley 3, Brighton 2. Rohan, I think I can get you into the Newcastle one later. Don't worry about that. I'll keep you for the Newcastle one. Rohan, Chelsea versus Wolves.
Chelsea versus Wolves is a good last fixture, right? And I think that here, this is a fixture in which Wolves can show some experience here, and I see Jimenez and Jota sort of, dominating that game and getting a 2-1 victory.
So Chelsea fail on the last game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, are we manipulating things or what? I don't know. Are we being realistic?
No, but I think realistically also, Wolves are a good side, and they can give Chelsea a run for their money.
They can give any
Especially
team
their forwards,
yeah.
I think are better than Chelsea's.
They really should have beaten City as well earlier in the season. Okay, Mahir, you've got Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. These are your 2 second teams.
Oh, boo, man.
You're a Tottenham boy, Mahir.
Yeah, I would love. No, I'm actually a Crystal Palace fan. It's my second team. So I hope Zaha and them can pull something out, and I'd have to go with a 1-0 win to Crystal Palace.
Dave said, what do we think of Tottenham?
Shit.
Shit. 2-1. What do you think of Tottenham? And December says Spurs players that were injured will take 3 or 4 games longer to get back up to speed. Dave hopes that Oba does not move on. I think we all agree with that.
How long before Kane moves on from Spurs? I think that might be soon.
Yeah, because he's been injured, there's not really been any chat about that. But definitely a good shout. Hopefully soon. And Dave, we agree with you. Let me know, Dave, what you think about Partey, and should we swap him for either Bellerin or Lacazette? And we're going to come to the end of this thing soon, so we'll get into general chat then. But we need to finish out the last 6 of. So Tony, you're next. Everton versus Bournemouth.
3-2.
3-2. Is there any glamour fixtures that are coming up that I can shoot out to the people? Newcastle versus Liverpool. Is there any shocks there? People in the chats in the last 4 fixtures: City playing Norwich City, Newcastle playing Liverpool, Southampton playing Sheffield United, West Ham versus Aston Villa. Any shocks out there? And David said Partey would be a great signing if it means Laka going. So be it. I think we're all okay with that. Lacazette has not been the player that he was a couple of seasons ago. Leicester City versus Manchester United. I'll throw it out at you, Glenn. Leicester City versus
I actually want the next one.
You want the next one? Okay. Rohan.
Yeah.
Leicester City versus Man United.
Both teams fighting it out, and I think Vardy going in there and getting the winner, and I think it's gonna finish 2-1.
2-1. I have to give you Newcastle after that. Then I know that Glenn wanted Norwich City. City versus Norwich City.
Well, I think Vardy, Aubameyang, and Aguero are fighting for the top scorer, the Golden Boot right now. So by that time, Norwich will be relegated, and I can see the likes of Aguero trying to get that Golden Boots. So I can see a record scoreline over here, and I'm not even joking. I can see Norwich getting 1 goal and Man City will get 8.
Oh no! Come on.
I'm not even joking. Manchester City, Aguero fighting for the Golden Boot. I think he can actually break another record in this game, becoming the first ever player to score 5 goals in 2 different games. This is the game for him.
So cool.
It's not going to change the league standing, so I'm going to go with your 8-1. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 8-1 to City. Norwich will have given up already by that time.
Yeah. We have to remember also. I mean, which is realistic. I wouldn't put it past City to score 8. Like they can score 8, and Aguero has scored 5 before, so he can score 5. So, but the fact is that they might be fighting for Champions League as well, if that happens, because City is still in the Champions League, right? So.
Well, City are in second place. They won't go out of the top 3, I don't think, all season. But you're talking about a City team 2 years ago. If you had said 8-1, I might have believed that. But I don't think they can score as much now as they have done in the past. But I respect your 8-1 scoreline, and I'll leave it in there. Steven has said 2-2 for Leicester and Manchester United. Dave said 2-1 for Leicester United. And Dave said, should have avoided the league and put it in alphabetical order. LOL. I would take that for sure. And Bournemouth would have to be called Bournemouth FC, not AFC.
Yeah, right.
All right, Rohan, you're going to get your second team, Newcastle versus Liverpool.
Newcastle versus Liverpool, the last game before Newcastle turn into world beaters. They're gonna try really hard, but they're gonna be shown what they are before they go into complete transformation. So I think last game of the season, Liverpool is gonna win 3-0.
Okay. All right, the last two folks right here. Southampton versus Sheffield United.
Southampton, Danny Ings, 2-0.
You're trying to be strategic, I think. Here. Tony, West Ham versus Aston Villa.
2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. That's good. Reasonable. All right, let's hit the calculate for the final. All the games are in now, and our simulated league finishes like this. We're in 4th place. Can we make?
Oh my God! We're actually going to get top 4.
If our results happen exactly what we planned it, that'll be hilarious.
And we haven't even won those many, right? Like I don't think we gave them
exactly.
Like
that's what I was about to say. Yeah, we have actually been realistic with the Arsenal games. We didn't give them a victory against Wolves, against Liverpool, against City, so it can actually end that way. The only one I would disagree with is the one that Tony said Southampton are going to beat Man U. I think Man U are going to win that game.
Yeah. I think we've done Chelsea, United, and Tottenham down a little bit, and maybe Sheffield United as well. You know.
But let me ask you guys something. We were realistic as based on our abilities. We weren't being biased towards any teams.
I think maybe we were biased a little bit in terms of Chelsea and United. You know.
Palace.
Yeah.
Liverpool didn't make 100 points. They made 98. Leicester City and Manchester City second, Leicester third, Arsenal fourth. That would be quite something if Arteta guides us into the top 4. But I think I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's simulated. That's the reason why. And Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and Norwich City get relegated. Wolverhampton Wanderers maybe are in the Champions League as well if Manchester City get knocked out. Sheffield United, Chelsea, and Manchester United, 6th, 7th, 8th, and Tottenham are 10th place. So I don't know.
And with the relegated sides, we might be able to do good business with maybe Grealish coming in, maybe Ake coming in. These are good players which we could get, for a good price, considering that they're getting relegated.
And Max Aarons as well from Norwich.
Max Aarons as well, yes.
Possibly Decore, possibly.
What is all the worry about? We are getting top 4 and getting all the big players. James Maddison, Grealish, all Aubameyang signing a contract, Saka signing a contract. Things are looking good. FA Cup win.
Decore.
Oh, wait.
All right, so
things are looking good.
Tony, we finished with 17 draws. That's the record?
Yep, that ties for
That's a record.
38-game season.
And we have Wolverhampton Wanderers also on 17 draws. I did not know that they've already, probably even before we started, they had a lot of draws. We've lost 6 games in the whole season. Not bad. But
yeah.
Let me just say this is simulated, and I'm going to stop sharing now. So this is simulated, and we'll see what happens. Were we a little bit unrealistic? I think maybe. Well, just a little bit of fun. We will check back over the weeks and see how we've done. So that was our simulated Premier League finish, and I think personally, I looked at the 30 points available to us, and I have 19 on the table that Arsenal are going to get. 6 wins, 1 draw, and 3 defeats. Tony, what did you have what do you think we're going to get out of 10 games?
I had us at 21.
21 points. What's your breakdown again?
I can't remember.
I know I already asked you. Okay, doesn't matter. Not here. How many points out of 30 are we going to get?
19 as well.
19 as well. Would you go 6-1-3?
Yeah, 6-1-3.
Okay, Rohan's doing some quick math.
Yeah, I think as well that we'll get 19 points, 6 wins, 3 losses. The 3 losses coming to City, and City, Liverpool, and Leicester, and the draw coming to Wolves.
Yeah,
I like
that. I've got the draw against Southampton. We lose at Wolves. We lose against Liverpool, and we lose against Manchester City. But we talked about that on Thursday. That's going to be a good. We have that extra game in hand, and I think it's going to be very, very important for us. If we don't get the points, that we get a little bit of match fitness into us when we start playing on Wednesday, 2 weeks from now. We're going to get a little bit of match fitness. Glenn, how many points do you think we're getting out of 30?
I think 22. I think we are going to beat Aston Villa, Norwich, Watford, Leicester, Southampton, Brighton, and also Liverpool. Between Tottenham and Wolves, I actually think you're going to lose one of them. Probably, unfortunately, it could be Tottenham away. Wolves, it's going to be a draw, and City a draw. So 7 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. That is 23, 22.
Yeah, and we haven't played at Tottenham's new shithole stadium yet. Looks like a toilet seat, right?
Yep.
It does.
Maybe worse.
All right, let's get into some general chat just to finish out the podcast here. And if anyone's got things to talk about, let us know in the comments section. But anyone got topics that's just floating around there they want to talk about? Open forum right here, right now.
Yeah, one, I I did a poll the other day asking about Saka and Martinelli. Like, I don't know any of you guys saw it. I asked like if you are a coach of a rival team right now, and you are asked to take one of those players from Arsenal, Saka or Martinelli, which one would you bet on to have the best future to come? Which one would you sign between the two?
It's a tough one, but I would pick Saka because he's gonna provide more chances to other players. He's already in double figures for assists. I think we've seen him go from being a promising winger to have to play at left back. And he's done really, really well at left back, almost to the point where I'm convinced he could play at left back for many, many seasons to come. He could actually play as one of the three in midfield if you go 4-3-3 as well.
Left
So
wing.
the sky's the limit for him. He could be one of those players, midfield players on the left hand side. Right, Maher?
Yeah, left wing. I mean, he could play further up, more attacking. We would love to see that. If you ask me my opinion, I would say Martinelli because he's proved me so wrong. I had a rant. I was like, who the hell? Why in the hell are we buying this player that's unknown? And what are they thinking? We need experience. We need world class. And he just come in and shocked us all. Proved me so, so wrong. So I'd have to say Martinelli.
Tony?
Saka for me, I like to see him as a left wing back in a 3-5.
Yeah, you're very keen. You're very keen in having Saka as one of the left wing backs, while playing three at the back as well. That would accommodate three defenders.
I am to actually like that formation too.
It may, in fact, help our players. Rohan?
Yeah, I like that formation, especially because in that way we can have, the attacking output of Saka, and and also in a 3-5-2 formation we can have two strikers. With the current setup that's there. So I would actually like that. I don't know if Arteta is going to play that. Because City hardly ever play with three centre backs, and he's been associated with them. So don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, just talking about Martinelli and Saka, Martinelli has been more explosive, but Saka seems to have done it over more number of games, and consistently seems to be doing that. So I mean, if I were picking today, I would probably pick Saka over Martinelli. Although, I think Klopp already said that Martinelli seems to be like a generational talent. So, it's a tough pick.
Yeah, I think the poll actually agreed with you guys. I think 55% out of around 40 votes said Saka 55 and 45% the other one. For the formation that Tony has said, yeah, like the 3-4-1-2, that allows us to play with two strikers, as Rowan said in one of the podcasts. Allows us to play with two strikers plus our wing backs, our full backs all prefer to attack. Saka, Tierney, Kolasinac, Bellerin, Niles, even Cedric, who hasn't played, they all prefer to attack. So, and if you play that formation, you have control of the midfield, which actually is good for us.
Yeah, and in the chat, the assembly said Saka can't defend. He's better going further forward. And yeah, definitely Xhaka has dropped in to help him when he's gone forward. Stephen, thanks for joining us again, Stephen. Tierney needs to play for me. He's the best crosser of the ball we have. And I think Arteta is a fan of Kieran Tierney as well, right? So I think we're going to see a lot of Kieran Tierney, and Saka will be pushed further forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that going forward for the rest of the season, we've obviously placed them as fourth here, but depending on how things go, realistically thinking about it, it's a very difficult feat because we're depending on other teams to drop a lot of points, which may or may not happen. So, do you think it's an audition for some of the players now for their spot and Arteta to make up his mind on what formation, what players play best, and if so, which are the ones who are really auditioning now.
What players are really auditioning now, Glenn?
Actually, Ron, it's like Ron has read my mind. That is the video I'm about to put out right now on my channel, and I was talking about that. There are a couple, maybe 5 or 6, and I'll start with the loan players. One is Ceballos. I think from now till the end of the season, you're going to see whether he's really worth that 30 million Real Madrid wants. He's one of them. Number two is Pablo Mari. I know some people have said he's only played against Portsmouth. I think we need to see more of him, especially against those tough teams. And also Bellerin and Lacazette have a lot to prove. Bellerin hasn't been playing well the last couple of games since he came back from the injury. Lacazette the same, and Cedric another lone player. So it could be like 5 to 6 players.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to speak about auditioning when we're 3/4 of the way through the season, and we should have probably. I know we had Unai Emery, and it wasn't always easy to see all of the talent that we have there. But we've always talked about the left-hand side being pretty good. We have Martinelli, we've got Saka, and Tierney. For me, the right side needs most work. And what's the combination on the right side? Is Pepe going to be there? Is Bellerin going to be there? And who's going to be that midfielder that's going to be right-sided as well?
For me, I think Pepe has to be there because and I'm happy with Pepe. I've seen that he does have the skill. He has that left peg, and I'd like him to practice that left curler, a million times. If he was training under me, I would make him take that shot like, at least 10,000 times, so that he's perfect in that, he can take that shot with his eyes closed because he has that close control, right? He can get that half yard and get that shot away. And if he can do that, then, then he'd be devastating. Bellerin, I've said before, I think he deserves another season, but we can get maybe a Max Aarons or someone like that to give him good competition. And, if a midfield 3 that we're playing, in that Torreira is the right-sided defensive midfielder.
And Tony, Stan has said Nelson and Willock have a lot to prove. They're worthy of a place in the team. So Tony, for you, what kind of players are auditioning for you, and who would you like to see on the right-hand side?
I'd like to see Pepe. We're kind of limited on the right back right now, so.
Yep. For what we have right now, would you go with Bellerin or Suarez?
Bellerin.
Yeah.
I'd still sell him in the summer, though.
But if you're involved in a swap with Partey, you would, if you want to send Bellerin or Lacazette, you could send Bellerin, right?
Bellerin.
Mahir, you got any players in mind that need to audition for their place in the team still? We're not quite there yet.
Like if we're talking about right back, in the right back position, I would think of possibly getting, if we can, Bellerin out, getting somebody like Max Aarons in, and having Cedric Suarez as the second choice for other competitions such as the FA Cup, Europa League, some Europa League ties, when we get in a European competition. But other than that, not really. I would, if I had a chance to get Laka out and get somebody like Jimenez in, or a similar quality striker, maybe a young and also be there with Martinelli in the future.
That's a great comment from Stephen. We're decent on the left-hand side and the backup strikers. We need better support for Pepe on the right. A player is going to overlap and interchange with him, and Istanbul doesn't think that Bellerin and Pepe have that understanding yet. And they probably, I don't know how many games have they played together, but
They haven't played too
Not
much
much.
together.
not many games at all, Rohan, right?
Yeah, because most of the season Bellerin has been injured, right? So he's hardly played any games this season, and so yeah. But just continuing with this, so who are the goners then from the squad
The
who don't
corners
have
of
any
the team,
chance? Yeah,
the Gunners. Who are the Gunners?
yeah. Who are the goners
Maybe
The
that
ones, the ones that have
is
to leave.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
one, the ones that Mahir is gonna fuel up his car and take them personally to the airport.
Hmm.
just
Well, the-
just before we get into that, another reason I like that 3-4-1-2 that Tony was talking about is because I actually don't think we have good right wingers, as Steven has said. There's no understanding, as Assemble has said. So I need Pepe as a number 10 behind the strikers, and the wing backs as the wingers. And another two players that I haven't mentioned. I know I've mentioned the lone players that Ron was talking about, but I actually think Tierney and Holding also have a lot to prove, especially Holding, or else I can actually see him getting sold in the summer. The ones who have to go for me, I do not care how much Mustafi has improved, he has to go.
Mhm.
At least we can get something for him right now.
Yeah,
Mustafi has to go. Socrates for me has to go.
yeah,
And the third one will probably be Ozil, he has to go.
yeah. Speaking of Ozil, and the Assemble has made a point that I've noticed as well. A lot of the time, especially in the last, maybe not recently, but the last 3 or 4 years, I've watched Bellerin and Pepe, and what I noticed was Bellerin always plays the ball to Ozil. So Ozil is always commanding that ball, and whether you like it or not, Bellerin keeps on checking inside infield to play that ball to Ozil in the inside left position. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's the Man City way of playing also, right? With inverted fullbacks and them getting them into the midfield and basically creating an overload, which is why I think Maitland-Niles, if he got his head around, might be a decent shot because he wants to play in midfield anyway. And if we have that possession and he comes to midfield, then he could be a good ball playing, player. So, that's the reason why I feel that could work out.
Yeah.
But what we actually need is for them to overlap as well and give Pepe the space. What's been the issue is I feel that Ozil goes too much to the left, and then that sort of blocks up the path for Pepe to get the pass and him to cut in.
Exactly. Tony, you want to delve into this, and Mahir, you agree with Steven's comment there. It doesn't look like Bellerin wants to overlap and runs off him, does it? And I think Ozil may be part of the issue. I'm not going to say problem. Part of the issue in the build-up here. That Bellerin does check in a lot towards Ozil. And I know they've had some spats over the years. They've cussed each other out a few times. What are you thinking about the whole situation, Tony? How does that get fixed? Because Pepe seems to be getting left out in the whole situation between Bellerin and Ozil.
Sell both of them.
That's a good solution. Tell Ozil. We've been trying to do that. Tell Ozil and Bellerin, right? I can get
If only.
some two new candidates, Max Aarons, and maybe Jack Grealish or somebody dynamic in midfield. And Stan has said Pepe is left-footed but never plays on that side. Can't he cross on his stronger foot? What's up with that? There's only one time during Arteta's reign that I saw Pepe switch wing, and that was against Crystal Palace away from home, where we almost got that goal. Left-footed strike off the upright, and I think Pepe should switch wings a little bit more. With it's not really Martinelli's forte playing on the right-hand side, right, Rohan?
Not really. And we've tried a lot of players on the right hand side, and they've been rendered ineffective. We've played Alba a couple of times on the right side, and he's had pathetic games. That's the one position that I'd never want to see him play. And I if we say play with a sole striker, him against two centre backs, it's crossing isn't really my favorite route to go down anyway. And with the close control that Pepe has, I'd rather see him on the left and come in and score those goals, because we need more goals scored from our front men than they're scoring right now.
Yeah.
Steven said bring back Smith Rowe, play him over Ozil, and I think that's going to happen, but maybe not as quickly as next season. Smith Rowe might need another season on loan, but that could be the long-term solution.
Smith Rowe is currently at Huddersfield, if I'm not correct, and before that, he had a loan spell at RB Leipzig. I just want to tell you guys, my dream signings actually for perfect window. I know this could happen, might not happen, probably not. But it would be Coutinho, sell Ozil, sell some of the dead wood, get Partey in to play with Torreira, and obviously we can't get Upamecano at the moment, but yeah, that would be the perfect.
Let's open that out to everybody. I don't think that's far fetched. I think the club, if they're going to shell out 24 million for David Luiz, which I think was a mistake for the whole year, 8 million plus 6 plus 10 wages adds up to 24 for 1 year. It's a lot of money for one defender who hasn't been all that. We could definitely pay for Coutinho's wages. Like Mahir said, I think Partey is keen on coming to Arsenal. I think that could happen as well. I think that's probably being ironed out as we speak. And I don't think that's too far-fetched. I think Upamecano is a bridge too far. I think we have our defenders, Saliba, Mari, plus 2 maybe, or 3. What does everyone think?
Yeah, I think I agree. Coutinho, though, I don't know if we're going to spend that big on that player.
If we do it on David Luiz, we could do it on Coutinho.
Yeah, but he's not going to come for 8 million, right? I mean, he's going to command at least 60 million. So, that kind of money, I don't think that's the need of the hour as well. I would just, in all honesty, I wouldn't be too happy if they spent that much on Coutinho and didn't solidify our center back or our, defensive midfield or the number 8 position or the right back. I'd rather spend there, and then if we have money left, then we make that star signing. But that'll be my last option, really. We need to replace Xhaka with a quick ball playing player. Partey, I don't know if he's that sort of player, but he needs to come in. So that makes it two midfielders, in fact, and then right back. And like we've said, if we can't get Upamecano, then we maybe go for Ake or someone like that who's getting relegated and might come for a little cheaper.
Yeah. Tony, any thoughts in midfield and Coutinho?
I'd pass on him for now. We got too many other priorities.
Glenn, how do we fix midfield?
First of all, I don't know if I'm the only one, but Coutinho, I heard that if you want him on loan, you'll still have to pay like 6 million for him. And the fee that they want if you're going to sign him on a permanent deal is like 70 million, 80. So for me, I don't know how many guys agree, but I prefer going for Willian than Coutinho. I prefer getting Willian for 1 year or 2 years on a free and having to pay 98,000 for him per week rather than getting Coutinho for all that money. I'll get Doucouré, Willian just because he's free, and I'll probably get Adwant Koulibaly ahead of Upamecano.
Glenn, could you play Willian as the right in a 3 in midfield? As the right midfielder?
Definitely.
No.
That's where he actually plays for Chelsea.
He could play there then, yeah?
Yeah, he can help us there. But still, I don't want that formation. I want a back 3. You've just seen what Stan has said about Aubameyang having to play on the left. I want Aubameyang to partner Lacazette up front, and we play Saka on the left and Bellerin on the right. That is what I want. And just one more question for you guys. If we could only improve on one position, which one would you get? Is it the centre back, the central defensive midfielder, an attacking midfielder, or a winger?
Attacking midfielder for me. Tony, attacking midfielder for me. Tony,
Defensive midfielder.
Rohan.
Only one position, then replace Xhaka with a ball player, fast ball player, which is not really a defensive midfielder, in my opinion. It's more of a number 8.
Yeah.
But with the passing range.
You would pretty much want to replace Xhaka, whereas I would pretty much want to replace Ozil. Right? You and Tony would pretty much want to replace Xhaka, and I would want to replace Ozil.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that, Lam?
For me, I'd replace Ozil first, because for Ozil, I don't see him giving us a lot right now. Plus, Xhaka, the last few games, and Arteta has been covering very well as a left back, so I think he can help us in in those terms. So I'd replace Ozil first because we are really lacking an attacking midfielder.
Rohan, the big issue in our forward line seems to be, unfortunately, Lacazette, right? Because he's stopping Aubameyang from being that central striker. I think we all agree Aubameyang needs to play more centrally now because it's too crowded on the left side. We've got enough talent there. Do you think that moving Lacazette on is the key?
Yeah, we're trying to, shoehorn all of these players in, and I like Lacazette, which is why I suggested that we could play a 3-5-2 or something like that. We can have both of them in, but if there's just one position, then there's no competition. Alba needs to play there over Lacazette, and then Lacazette, I don't think needs to be on the bench. He could be used to get get better signings that we have. And just touching on the previous point, I think this season what I felt was that the real problem at Arsenal was that our defense and offense was not tied together by a midfield. We were just moving. We were either defending or Oba was scoring that goal, but there was no smooth transition going from defense to midfield to offense, and which is why that Xhaka position is so important. That is the reason why we need that player first, because a number 10 is such a specific position, and that position, to get the ball till that position, you need that Xhaka position to be solidified, who can get the ball there. Otherwise, that player can get crowded out.
Yeah, so I hear what you're saying. You need a Partey type of player to get the ball to the creative players, but I'm coming from the other way. I think we need creative players to get our forwards in more often, because we've been a little bit anemic in our forward line. We're surviving a lot on Aubameyang's his accuracy in front of goal, which is, I think it's higher than Jamie Vardy right now. He's converting chances at a very, very good rate. Anything else to chat about? And we're going to wind it up pretty soon, but Ryan, you got a couple other points to make?
First, I don't really want Lacazette to be sold. I know, out of 40 people I've had talking about this, probably 30 have said he needs to go, but I still don't feel like he needs to go. He's 29. He's only had one bad season. So when people talk about Jovic from Real Madrid replacing him, Jovic himself has had a terrible season at Real Madrid. So if you compare their seasons, they've had a similar season. So I still prefer him. Plus the relationship he has with the likes of Aubameyang, Pepe, Guendouzi, I still feel like we have something there. So I'll still give him a year. And Luis too, I'll still give him a year. Another reason I want that back three again is because next season we actually prefer Pablo Mari and Saliba as the central defenders, but I don't think they're going to give enough as a two because of experience and all that. So I actually prefer Luis to be there with them as a back three. So those are the 2 points.
I don't know. I think David Luiz is a year older and a year more prone to more mistakes. And I actually think Pablo Murray and Saliba will be better together than putting David Luiz in the mix. That's what I think. Tony, what do you
Let's
think?
see.
Tony, sorry, Rohan. I'll go to you. Go ahead, Rohan.
No, I mean that's why he's auditioning now, right? Like we'll see what Pablo Mari is made of. He's just had 2 appearances till now, and
Yeah, but
I'm keen to see him.
would you throw David Luiz in there? Would you play a 3 to help Saliba and Pablo Mari?
I said this in the previous podcast as well. Like I think that out of the 3 senior centre backs, quote unquote senior, but they don't really prove their worth. That is,
In age
Mustafi.
only. Yeah.
Yeah, in just age, nothing else. So Pablo, which is Mustafi, uh, David Luiz, and Socrates. If he had to sell 2 of them, I'd sell 2 of them, and the 2 that I would sell would be Mustafi because he'd get value, and Socrates because I think he's just a little bit worse than
Okay.
David Luiz, in my opinion.
What would you do with David Luiz? Would he be playing every game for you, or would he be on the bench?
No, it's a transition, right? Like so he can transition out and he doesn't need to play every game, because we need to find an alternative. And I hope that the alternative is Saliba and Murray or
Maybe
somebody
Murray.
else that we get. But we'll only time will tell. Like Saliba is a youngster and he's coming into a new league. We can't expect him to be playing each game, playing 38 games there. So
No.
we'll need something there.
You're
Torreira,
right.
we've seen Torreira not being able to go through the whole season, and David Luiz could step into that defensive midfield role. Chambers again is someone who can step into that role. So I'd say that I'd keep him, but not play him every week. No.
Yeah. And Tony.
Just sorry. Just to add into that, I think also Luis can actually get the ball and drift into midfield and make it 5 midfielders. There's a lot of ways you can play that back 3, and he can come back and make it a 3 and go forward, give those passes. So there's a lot you can do with Luis there, rather than Mustafi and Socrates.
That's a good point. You have to have a lot of trust between Pablo Murray, the other 2 central defenders, maybe Saliba and Pablo Murray, for them to know that David Luiz is going to step in the midfield. And yeah, maybe it could work. Tony, I know you like the wing back situation with Saka as a left wing back. So are you a proponent of 3 at the back?
Yeah, I like 3 at the back. I'd like to get Chambers playing back there in the middle because he can force up like Luis did. I'd go ahead and get rid of Luis, Socrates, and Mustafi.
Yeah. Keep Saliba and Mari maybe, and play Chambers eventually.
Yep.
Okay. Rohan, anything else?
No, I think I'm excited to see. Of course, football coming back is exciting, but I'm excited to see the guys who are auditioning. I'm excited to see, whether Pepe's gelled more into the team. I want to see what Murray does. We've got difficult games going in, and I want to see him playing. I don't want to see, the same squad of players who don't want to be here or who are not in Arteta's plans, right? So we should know that if Ceballos is in the plan, then I'd like to see how Torreira and Ceballos play together in that midfield role. Whether Ceballos can be the answer for that role that I'm talking about, which Xhaka is occupying right now.
Yeah.
But I just fear that Xhaka is just such a manager's pet. He just seems to be liked by every manager, and that he's just going to stick around there.
Yeah. The assembly said Luis has a winning mentality as something to instill in this generation of young players.
We have so many centre backs. We still haven't talked about Mavropanos, who's going to come back. And Mavropanos, yeah, we've made so many good plans for the lineup, but it's going to be sad when we have Holding and Mavropanos as the centre back pairing next season. And to add to what Stan said about Nelson and Willock, for me, I'd take Willock and Niles out on loan next season and have Smith Rowe back into the team with Nelson and the other youngsters.
Let's have a quick word about Joe Willock then, Glenn. I think he's a young player who actually doesn't believe in his own ability. I feel like that's how he feels. And when he's not on form, he doesn't feel like he belongs there and he plays in that way.
Yeah, I had like a lot of confidence in him, especially when he started the first two games. But again, like he just drifted away and starts sitting on the bench. I think that is an Emery problem. But out of all those other players, Nelson has been out on loan. Mavropanos has been out on loan. Same with Smith Rowe. So Willock is the only one who hasn't really been out on loan. So I think this is his season to go out on loan. Also, Nketiah has been out on loan. I think this is the season for Niles and Willock to go out, and then they can come back maybe mid-season or the next season. Yeah.
I think if we are able to get some midfield reinforcements in, that may well happen with Joe Willock. And Kunduzi will stay with us for another season.
Yeah, Willock, I have seen him do some good things when he's played. You know, a few of the turns that he's done and the way he shielded the ball, he's done all right. But I tend to agree that he needs to go out on loan and learn the trade a little more. He's not good enough for the Arsenal first team right now, clearly. So yeah, him. I hope that our other player in the right wing position, you know, somebody who's going to be a backup to Pepe, they sort of step up, because on the right side, on the left side, we've got a good combination between Saka and Martinelli, and I want to see them playing every week. You know, either one of them playing, you know, every week, and Oba not playing there, Oba playing in the center. But on the right side, the only player that gives me some amount of confidence is Pepe and nobody else. So, you know, that place needs to be solidified.
Tony, what do you think?
I thought Willock was one of the best players starting off the season. Him and Guendouzi both. I think all the team chaos and the players dropping tools affected both of them more than anything else.
Yeah. Willock did start off on Rohan. You were at that game in Washington. I was there as well. Willock played very, very well in that game, and Zidane even was making some complimentary mentions about Willock's play as well. Unfortunately, I think he's a young player, and we're going to see that in some of our young players. But overall, I think our young players have done very, very well, and I think someone else mentioned to me, they haven't gotten the same amount of media or love as other teams with youth players as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we'll see what happens. Final thoughts. We're going to wind this thing up. Thanks to everyone for coming in. We did the Premier League. We handed out the trophies today. Liverpool won. Surprise, surprise, won the trophy. And somehow we snuck Arsenal into the Champions League spot. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. And then we had a little chat about everything Arsenal. So, Rowan, thanks for coming on. Final thoughts?
I appreciate being here, and you know, final thoughts are basically, you know, excited to see Arsenal come back. Hopefully, you know, they show some positives in the whole scenario, and you know, that we end the season in a positive way. You know, Arteta is also learning the craft as being a manager, learning about the players, everything. And I'm quite positive that we are going into these last 10 games, because that's very valuable for Arteta to know what he needs to do for next season, you know, and I'd just like to see improvement.
Yeah. Stan only came for the quiz. Sorry, Stan. Next Sunday we'll do something, right? It's been a little bit.
I was gonna say that this Sunday, like you've not given me heart palpitations, with the quiz. Every Sunday it's so intense and I'm sweating after it.
And new face around here, Stu Mac. Arsenal appointed Emery with very few classy fullbacks and wing forwards. He had an abundance of those at Valencia and Sevilla. Arsenal have a jumble sales squad and still do. Yeah, we mentioned Deadwood. We needed to cast some of those off, and we still do. Glenn, final thoughts?
Just like Ron, I'm excited for the Premier League. I hope everything is well before then, and also for what is going on in where you guys are, US. I hope everything calms down. That's the last thing we need, like during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I hope everything calms down in LA, Chicago, and everywhere else. So yeah, just hoping for the best, and everyone keep taking good care of yourselves. And yeah, let's just wait for the football to come back.
Yeah, we need everything to calm down. It's been crazy, very, very unfortunate. I could use words, but I'm not the best placed person to use words. So I'm just going to say, prayers for everybody involved, and stay safe out there. There's many things going on in the world now with COVID and this new stuff as well. So it's really, really not a good situation. But thanks, Glenn. Tony, you complained that I didn't give you the last word on the last podcast.
You're rapid.
Before I get to you, Tony, ED Chefs said, love your podcast, love from Australia. And I'm actually glad because we have a subscriber from Australia called Pistol. I hope he would check in with me. We want to know that everyone's safe. That's why we actually started doing podcasts on Thursday nights, so that we could come from. You could see us live on. I think it would probably be Friday mornings there. So TD Shifts, if you like us, check us out Friday mornings probably in Australia. And Tony, I'm not going to forget about you. Your final thoughts.
Final thoughts on football. I'm ready to see Arsenal play. I'd like to see Torreira actually get to play as central defensive midfield, but probably won't happen. And back to what Glenn was saying with what's going on in the U.S., hopefully people use calm. And 99 years ago today in Tulsa, they had the Tulsa Race Massacre or Black Wall Street Massacre started, and over 300 people were killed, and 6,000 to 8,000 people were left homeless after burning down 1,200 homes.
There's so many things still wrong with human beings in this world. So let's all try to get along because we all love the same things, and we just need to realize that, But thanks, Rohan, thanks, Tony, and thanks, Glenn, for joining us. Thanks to my here. He did a Roadrunner. His something overheated, his battery died, whatever, right? Hope you all enjoyed the podcast. We'll be back on Thursday. Thanks to the crew once again. And we'll close it out here. Come on, the Gooners. Up the Arsenal. Be safe out there, everyone.